What's good? What's good, man? Let's get into it. Hope you guys are having a good Thursday today. But I really want to make this video kind of what Michael Porter Jr. said, I think yesterday or a couple days ago. Um, so Michael Porter Jr. was on a podcast and he was talking about how sports gambling, he kind of exposed how NBA players, how some NBA players gamble and how he would do it. Obviously, he wasn't talking about himself. He wasn't talking about himself allegedly, allegedly, but he was saying how players do it. And people are like kind of clowning him for what he said because he's kind of exposing some of the players. And hell, he might be even exposing himself. But I want to take a different route. What happened with Michael Porter Jr. is that Michael Porter Jr. exposed two things. Number one, how these players, whether it's NFL, NBA, baseball, whatever sport, maybe not combat sports, but whatever sport they how they use the gambling system and gamble on themselves so they can make more money. But also, he exposed the reason why me personally, just me, this is my opinion, why I find sports to kind of be dead in a sense is with all this gambling stuff is just ridiculous. In the simple fact that the NFL, NBA, baseball, whoever thinks like they're mad at the players for doing this, when what do you expect players to do? People love money, they love money. They're going to do whatever. And the simple fact that the NFL, NBA didn't consider like, hey, if we allow this to be legal, what some of the guys who are not making that much money will maybe try to do that themselves and try to hurt the game and try to bet on themselves. Oh, Adam Silver, Roger Goodell, Rob Manfred. You guys didn't think that? If some clown from upstate New York can figure that out, you bozos who are getting paid billions of dollars can't? Who are controlling billions of dollars, who are handling, who are baseball, basketball, football. You guys run a company that's worth billions of dollars. You guys couldn't figure that out? You bozos. Hell, maybe even some of the coaches do that as well too. You never know. But it also exposed the fact why sports is kind of dead, because sports, in a sense, especially with the NFL, is so unwatchable. It's not even funny. It's not even funny. Is people complain about how there's no more defense, maybe not in baseball, but in specifically basketball and football, especially football, how there's no more defense. And shout out to the NBA expert that I bring on the channel, Brandon. Me and him were talking about this on the phone while we were playing the GOAT Fortnite. Yeah, we were playing Fortnite, and he asked me, can you fix the NFL problem where you can make it watchable? I told him no. No, and people might think I'm crazy for this, but I'm being for real. I said no. Shut down the NFL. Get rid of it. Get rid of the National Football League. It's garbage. It's trash. Because you can't, when gambling became legal and the NFL is making a huge bag off of gambling, why would they allow defense again? Why? I sat there and I asked Brandon, if you were to take gambling away from most of NFL, I'm going to keep it real with you. If you were to take gambling away, if there was no more fantasy football, FanDuel, DraftKings, over-unders, and you were to ask a football fan, I put that in quotation marks, a football fan, sit down and watch this game, some random game. It doesn't even, like some random game. They would probably not enjoy it because when you watch the product, it is so bad it's not even funny. Unless you're watching like a Ravens Bills, a Chiefs Cincinnati, something along a Cowboys Eagles, unless you're watching something like that, it's unwatchable. They legalize defense and have horrible offense, which is every rule favors the offense, and the offenses are horrible. They run trash RPOs or trash screens. There's no more deep shots down the field. You can't do unless you're watching maybe a Josh Allen, Lamar Mahomes. There's no more of that. None. Zero. Zilch. There's no more no one cares about running backs anymore. Defense, you can forget about it because the NFL's illegalized defense, and now the offenses have become lazy. They can be like, all right, we can just nickel and dime the way down the field, kick a field goal, or get a few flags, and boom, we're in the end zone. In basketball, now basketball hasn't lost its appeal to me because in basketball you can still see 3-point shots, you can still see slam dunks, crossovers, and stuff. Like basketball still has that appeal to it. It's the defense, not as the NBA defense I'm kind of iffy on. I do see a lot of good defense, especially Jason Tatum, Mikal Bridges before he came to the Knicks. Like there's still it's not like 2000s defense, but it's still serviceable, as my co-host CEO would say about the NFL. It's serviceable. But in the NBA, you still see slam dunks and crazy shots and stuff like that. But even in the NBA, I can understand why people say the NBA is garbage because it's dudes jacking up a bunch of threes. Now, I do think the NBA is more fixable than the NFL because the NBA, you can't really change defense. I mean, the way how the NBA is, you can get 30 points from SGA as the game is. You don't have to make multiple rule changes. The NFL is making multiple rule changes every single year, making their product horrible. But once again, this goes back to what Michael Porter said, is because so much gambling is allowed in the NFL, NBA, baseball, is that it's beyond horrible. It's beyond horrible. And hell, don't be shocked if the Major League Baseball, now I have no problem with them adding a 9th inning, but don't be shocked if they add more innings to baseball for more revenue, more gambling, especially now since fantasy stuff is going off and it's legal. But that's my thoughts. What's your thoughts on what Michael Porter said, and what's your thoughts on what he said and what Michael Porter said and the take of that's some of the reason why sports are unwatchable at this point. It is what it is. RJ out.